Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Weedle, and I'm here to review all the map changes coming in Wargaming's next patch, 1.26. But before I get started, I'd ask if you like anything you see, please like and subscribe. It'd really help me out. It doesn't cost you anything, but it'd really help me grow my channel. First one up today is Lakeville, and first thing in Lakeville is, you recall there used to be some shrubs right here, and what tanks would do is they get into this position and shoot at the little ridge up here. I never really thought this position was that effective, but sometimes it could be a little bit annoying to deal with and would prevent some pushing. So it looks like they're just taking away a lot of sniping positions in this next patch, and we'll see that kind of throughout as we review. It's like nerf to TD snipers, nerf to TD snipers, nerf to TD snipers. The other area that they changed was how the terrain worked in this area, and one thing I noticed is they've added an interesting hold down area right here. This is going to be very difficult to deal with if you're like in a super conk or something. Yeah, good luck. You're going to be able to hold down right here and shoot just fine. If you're in a 279E, you can sit right here and you're going to be pretty difficult to pin too. So it's just going to be interesting for players that try to do that. And I can't really tell, but it looks like this area has also been buffed a little bit, so you know, some tanks are going to be able to take advantage of that. Other than that, that's it for this side. It seems like they're just getting rid of a lot of the sniping positions in the back and a lot of bushes. Now, what's really interesting is on the south side up here, what they've kind of done to this little knob. It says that they've kind of shrunk the terrain down a little bit, and I did sort of notice this. Now, prior, it looks like largely this area right here is more of a slope than it used to be, or less of a slope, however you want to put it. And as you can see, like before, you could kind of poke out here and you would be kind of concealed. Well, that's not going to be the case anymore. So again, another nerf to sniping positions. But that being said, they've created another one. If you come back here and you can actually double bush, and you can actually shoot over this hill, and as you see right here, anything on the right side of that hill up there, I'm going to have shots in, and they're not going to see me. So keep that in mind if you're getting shot. They're probably right behind this bush. Other than that, they've kind of seems like they've left this area largely unchanged. So we'll see how this goes. I think overall this is fine. I don't think it's going to change the gameplay much one way or the other. So let's go ahead and on to the next map and see what they have for us there. Alright, so next up we have Tundra. And Tundra, they really only changed one thing. Now, this may actually have some pretty big ramifications, but as you recall, you used to cross here, and there would always be a tank that would, you could get shot from over this angle, but now they've added this huge rock here. And honestly, I think this is a really good change. It's no longer, you're going to get those cheeky shots, like one or two people getting shot as they're trying to go up the hill from at least the south side, because you couldn't do it from the north side. Now, what is this going to do in the river fight? That's the good question. And I think first thing, it's not going to block too many shots in the river, on a little bit in this area right here. But honestly, I don't think you really ever had that many shots there anyway. But what I was kind of curious is this going to change the river fighting any? And I think the answer to this is a maybe. So obviously the hill here is going to still be the main fight for this map, because it's still going to give you massive control over most of the map. So most of it's in here, but I think there's actually going to open up a door to actually push through here, because now you only have to deal with one angle, not so much two as you're coming through here. So this is going to be really interesting, because there's going to be some side scraping opportunities here, as long as you have some control with the hill. I can see this actually being something of a way to push around now, at least a lot easier than you could before. Now, just to show you what this looks like from the other direction, I'll drive up here. So prior, at the very start of the match, you would often have like a light tank, maybe a medium. If you're really unlucky, oops, I went too far. A 4005, which I did see a few times. But you could rush right up here, get in this bush, and you would shoot the tanks that were crossing. but obviously there's no way to do that anymore. That giant rock basically blocks all that. But what's also interesting is it blocks any movement around this way. So that's the reason I think there might be more opportunities for some fighting in the river. Um, we'll see how that works out when this goes live and how players are playing it. But yeah, just be aware. Might get a little bit more dynamic in this side, might not. But that's it for this one. Really big one, just simple quality of life change that may or may not actually affect much of the match, but we'll see. Okay, so for the first map on the list that has massive changes to it, and that would be Outpost. Now, first thing on Outpost, as you spawn in base, there's this hill right here that they have changed how the foliage is right here. So used to it is more toward the front right here, and what this allowed you to do is actually shoot some of the tanks that were progressing up. They've moved the foliage back, so that's no longer a thing. You could still potentially shoot any tanks that are over poking. I really don't know why you'd be playing in this position at the start of the game, but no longer are you going to be able to be shooting at the heavies here, at least unspotted. You could do it from right here if you expose yourself a little bit, but this is a pretty big change to this hill area right here, honestly. What I'm kind of getting out of a lot of these map changes is they don't want tanks sitting in the back, basically pausing the game and causing a lot of time to be wasted just trying to figure out how to advance on these sniping positions. So big changes down here in the city. So obviously they've added buildings here, but I do want to show previously this wasn't a problem for the other side here, but from this side you used to be able to shoot into this little corridor right here. They've added this big building, so that is no longer the case. Now, I did, when I saw this on the preview, it looked like they had done away with the bridge area right here, but I actually don't think that's true. It has changed, but honestly, in a weird way, it might actually be better for you to come here now. So, you can come into here, and obviously if you look, yeah, you can still hold down right here. And there's a hold down position right here that's going to be very popular. You're going to be able to get shots in on it. We'll see how well this actually works. But I think there's going to be some tanks that are still going to be able to utilize that. Let's see. So they've added a hold down position here. And this very much mirrors on both sides. I'll kind of showcase it. But there's going to be shooting at the tanks here and anything here. And your side scrapers will kind of be right here. So they've definitely opened this up to a lot more angles that you can deal with. A little bit more aggressive push. Yes, you can get into this area. Again, another little hold down spot. This is going to be kind of a heavy tank's paradise right here. Just kind of look at this from the other side. Yeah, again, just a hold down spot. It very much mirrors. We'll check out this area right here. Again, it's changed on how you'll play it, but I don't think it's really changed its functionality. The other side might be in a slightly better position, but I mean, yeah, to an extent, it looks like if you got the right tank, you can come over here. Take some experimenting. We'll see how when it goes live. Obviously, a more hold down tank, like a Super Conch or something, could come right here, back right down. Don't get too crazy, but the water's not too steep. As for, now, I did showcase that they changed the A7 area, and they've also done that for this hill up here. They've changed it very much in the same way. They moved all the bushes back, so no longer are you going to be able to sit in the bush and shoot a heavy tank that's trying to progress up. Again, they seem to really not want to pause tanks from being able to push. So again, you'll have shots up into the center here, but to get shots over here at the heavies, you're going to have to really expose yourself. Now, that's not the only changes on this map. While they didn't have a screenshot of it, they have actually changed the whole medium flank dramatically. So we're going to take a quick look at that. I think now it's going to be a lot easier to progress the map from the south end now. And I kind of worry that some of the your Russian heavyums will be really aggressive over here, and this will cause problems. So nothing's changed on the two hills. They remain the same. But one thing they have added is a rock right here, which is going to allow you to get into a little bit of safety and drop down right here. So once you get to this spot, you got an area you can engage tanks from. There's progression to move up, barring you can, or if you can swing around, depending on how they're playing. You can come up to this area right here. You're going to have shots on their hill, or possibly anything over poking through the window, and you can just move through, one slot at a time. They've added another hill down here as well, and this one down here is going to be really interesting. This area too, because it's going to allow you to come in from behind. But I don't think this area has changed very much, other than they've allowed you to move a medium tank in right here and engage the hill if you so inclined to do so. And again, if you're progressing through here, you can come right around, and now you're engaging tanks right here. So you're going to be able to spot them out. You can't... Now, I was curious if you had a light tank, how much you could poke and get here. And truth is, I don't really think you can. But this will be an interesting change. And this should mean a lot more dynamic play in the south. It's going to actually be easier, not easy, to push this flank. And the way these areas are look like they're going to work, is you'll almost be able to kind of get some flank shots for anything that's actually just still sitting here. So you definitely want to get some tanks into these areas and prevent the team from progressing like this. But yeah, this is going to... I like these changes. This is going to be a lot better. It's not going to be as friendly to your TD snipers, but that seems to be a running theme of all these map changes. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, so next up I have Manaheim Line, and this is another map that's changed a lot. Now, if you've played this map much, you probably realize that nearly every match, especially if you're winning or losing, ends up being like having to break a camp that's in this base here, and it seemed to happen a lot. And one of the most popular positions to get to was up on this hill, and that's not going to be so easy anymore. As you can see, there's a lot less foliage up here, so you can still get some concealment, but there is no real double bushing here. I mean, no, you can't. So you will get spotted if you fire from this position now, so it is no longer as good as it was. The other change they did, and I thought they might have changed something over here, but after looking at it, it does not appear that they do. So this area is still going to be the same. But this whole approach area right here has changed. So as you can see right here, prior, if you knocked down the trees right here, you could engage tanks and just kind of back up as you went. That's not going to be the case. It's going to make progressing into the base a lot easier. They've also removed the dragon's teeth that were through here, so this is going to be a lot easier to have some speed coming up. And it looks like from this side they've also might have made the dragon's teeth a little shorter, maybe. Hopefully I don't get stuck, but it kind of looks like they might have. That's really about it for the base. This is going to be a lot easier to progress into base, and it's taken away at least that strong sniping position up here. There's still other positions. You're still going to have tanks here in these bushes, but overall I think it's going to be easier to approach. Now, the other change that they've done is to this area right here. I'm not sure how much this is going to really affect things, but as you can see, prior you couldn't come up through here, and that's going to be really interesting to see if light tanks can really take advantage of it. But you could theoretically, I guess, take a light tank, rush up right here, and get some early lights. Something that you really couldn't do prior. So that's going to be interesting. The one issue I see really with this position is they still have this sniping position right up here, so I don't know how much this is going to get utilized. But because I mean, I'll go right up here right now. It's very common that your snipers who come to this position, it's going to work the same way. So they'll get in right here, and as you can see, they'll be able to kind of see that area right there. So I don't know how well that's going to work, but we'll see. Now, the heavy flank on this has completely changed, and I think it's going to be better. You shouldn't see the accidental drownings anymore. So one of the annoying parts, especially from this spawn, is when you're coming in, you would always kind of be at risk getting shot from this direction, and that's not really going to be a thing anymore. So you can actually just drive straight right here and drop in. So very much like the other side, you're going to be into some pretty good terrain. And honestly, I think there's actually might be more hold down positions here to progress through. You got like here. I think the rock's still going to be kind of bad, but another spot right here. And as far as, yeah, I think you can go through here now, but I'll test it here in a second. But yeah, as you can see, this is really easy to drive through now. And there's like little ridges, so you're not even going to get shot from up here. So again, the only way you're going to get shots from that little sniping ridge up there is if somebody's doing this. And yeah, again, death to snipers, they don't seem to like them this patch. This area looks like it's pretty much the same, other than it's a lot easier to progress through. So yeah, as far as quality of life changes, this is quite nice, and I'm looking forward to this. We'll see how this works. I think this will be a lot better. It'd be a lot easier to kind of progress through the map. Feels a lot more natural. I actually think this side up here might actually have an advantage, but we shall see. Now, that is not the only change. They also changed a rock up here, and I'm going to kind of drive up there real quick, and we're going to take a look at that. But again, more nerfs to sniping positions, which seems to be a common theme. What I find interesting about that is, while I keep naming off that it's nerfs to TD sniping positions, but they keep releasing a lot of sniping mediums as well, and they're going to find it harder. So as you can see, this area right through here has changed quite a bit. There used to be some shrubbery here that would give you concealment. You used to be able to kind of shoot through the rocks a little bit. You still get a little bit of a hold down. Whoops. You still get a little bit of a hold down area right here, but no longer are you going to have easy shots. So if you're playing this position, you're going to have to be a lot more exposed. They do have a little bit of a hold down right here where you can shoot back down. But yeah, I think they're basically telling people to get out of the base on this map. And that's it for this one. Let's kick up the next one and keep them coming. Okay, so for the next map, we have steps. Now, this could be entirely my imagination, but I swear there are less trees on this hill. I wasn't really switching back and forth. I was kind of just driving around the map trying to figure out things that changed. And I swear there were less trees, but I could be wrong. But the patch notes said minor changes. This isn't minor. They have changed the entire western flank of this map. I didn't really find anything else through here that changed much, if they changed anything at all. But the entire western map, part of this map, has completely changed. And again, they don't like TDs, sniping in from bushes. So if you're a grill, I'm sorry, they don't like you. But this should be a lot more dynamic and easier to push. So let's see. They added a rock here, so they actually gave sort of a sniping position. I think this is probably going to be more useful for like mediums, but I could see some TDs making use of it. You have a bush here that you can use and back up. I'm not sure how good this position is going to be, but it is here. Some changes that they did. Now, I said they don't like TDs this patch, so they brought the lumberjack up here, and there are no longer any bushes up here. This is all gone, so if you come to this position, you will be fully exposed. And on the left side here was a very well-known bush that tanks would sit behind. In fact, I think I talk about blind fire in this bush all the time. It is no longer here. So, yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Another thing they've added was they've changed this whole area right here. Now, prior, it was pretty dangerous to push across. You could easily get shot, but that's now a very short run. And yeah, this whole area has changed. Again, you'll have some more hold down play right here as tanks can kind of progress up. You'll see some interesting gameplay. Yeah, this is more positions here to fight. So, you know, another hold down spot as if we needed more of them. And general progression through this area is going to be interesting. Another little perch to get up on. I think this one's going to be kind of difficult to play. It's a little bit steep. You're going to have to get a bit overexposed to use it, I think. But yeah, this is a big change. You know, used to you'd have to come up through here, and you know, this again still may be possible now that you don't have to worry about TDs right there. But especially as your team's moving up, you can move up to this and continue on from either side. This very much mirrors. This is, yeah. Overall, I like these changes. There is another bush that they did away with, and as you recall, this rock right here used to have a bush right here, and a lumberjack got that one as well. So, yeah. Very interesting. It might actually be a better side scraping position than it used to be. I could easily see that being the case, but yeah, this is... I do like the description of minor changes, but this is not minor. Let's take another look at this. Like I said, a lot better progression through here. It'll be really interesting to see how players end up fighting this, and how many angles other tanks from like over here will have. But yeah, this is going to be good. So we'll go on to the next one and see what else we can find. Okay, so Abbey. They said there was only one change on Abbey. They removed some shrubbery around C1, which will allow you to shoot at G1. I believe that this is the area that they're referring to. There used to be some trees or something here, and yeah, as soon as they crossed, you could shoot back up, and it was pretty safe, at least early in the game. That's the only thing they've changed on this map. Pretty minor. I don't think it's going to matter. Honestly, I haven't seen a tank go to this position in months, so I don't think it's anything to worry about. But I do want to show another position that I found when I was poking around, and I'm going to have to try this on in a couple of training matches to see how it goes. But I found you can actually back into this rock right here, and once you do, yeah, looks like you might be double bushed right here. So if there's a big push, I'm going to test out this position a few games and see if this gets interesting. Might be a pretty cheeky place to get if you truly can fire concealed here. But yeah, well, I'll let y'all know if I discovered a new spot, at least for competitive play, to block a push. So we'll see. But that's it for this one. Got one more on the list, and we'll see what's changed there. Okay, now for the last one. Supposedly this is pretty minor changes, and seems like it. So apparently on Stuy, you could spot mediums in A5 over there, like in this area right here, through some windows that were right here. I didn't know this, so apparently I might be bad, but I wasn't aware of it. But you can't do that anymore. They've kind of filled in the windows, and that is no longer a thing. So if that was something you like doing, I apologize. It's the first I'd ever heard of it, so apparently somebody knew. Okay, so for the second change in Stuy, they said they raised the hill, and it looks like they've raised this hill right here. And they mentioned in the patch notes that it was to prevent people from sniping from base. But in looking at it, I don't think that's actually what they did. When they said base, I thought they meant over here. But actually, I think they meant right here. So, just looking here, like, there's no way to engage tanks at this corner anymore. Like, this blocks all of that. Which is interesting. Because it said it was supposed to be from the western flank, but It also seems to do it from both sides. So they found a way to nerf tank destroyer positions without destroying bushes. So again, if you like tank destroyers, this is not your patch, but at least the sniping ones. You know, the assault TDs are fine, but yeah, just looking at this from the other side, yeah, not shooting much there. Once they're down below, they're going to get around pretty easily. So definitely a little bit of a nerf to that, but that's about it for this one, at least from the patch notes. I drove around the map just to see if I could find anything else. I didn't see anything. So, yeah, just be aware they've kind of bumped this out just a little bit. It's a little bit, going to be a little bit easier, I think, to drive in without getting harassed by the tank destroyers from either side. So, that's good. At least from, me. I'm a pretty aggressive player. But, yeah. That's it for the map changes. In the comments, let me know what you guys think. I think overall I like the changes. I've never been a big fan of fighting a bunch of hold down tanks just to progress into tank destroyers hiding in bushes. It was never really that fun for me. But so I think this will be a lot better. You obviously are going to have to find new ways to be to play your sniping tank destroyers. I think they're just nerfing a lot of those positions. That doesn't mean that they're bad or they're not going to be able to play them or make them work, but certainly going to be harder than it was. So that's it for the video, guys. Appreciate you dropping in. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Thank you.